The course that I evaluated was the University of Maryland University College edX LDT100X Instructional Design and Technology Learning Theories course, which ended on 15 October 2017. The course is part of the college's Instructional Design and Technology MicroMasters program and is the first of 4 courses required to complete the program. This is the course landing page for LDT100X Learning Theories on the edX platform. The course ended 15 October 2017. The course was designed and developed with the Open edX learning management system and is hosted on the edX platform. For a bit of background, I took this same course from May to July 2017 on edX. There were some significant changes in the format and content of the course between that session that was active in the summer of 2017 and the session that ended in October 2017. I have the original syllabus from the first course, as well as access to the archive course via my dashboard on the edX website. So I was able to view the changes that were made to the course content between the 2 sessions. My QCTIP evaluation, however, is solely based on the course session that ended on 15 October 2017. Here is the about the course information, which is provided on the course syllabus page. This course explores the evolution of learning theories from traditional behavior-based understandings of how we learn to emerging theories of how social engagement can support the learning process. Access to emerging technologies and increased opportunities for global communications and collaboration have altered how we learn. Today's learners gravitate towards digital content and media, available anytime, anywhere, coupled with social connections to learn. It's crucial for instructional designers to understand different theories of learning and how they intermix to create engaging learning experiences. So that kind of sets us up for what the course was about and is about, because it's still being offered on edX today. So I mentioned this, and I'll go over it a little more now, about the QCTIP Scorecard. So the Online Learning Consortium Quality Course Teaching and Instructional Practice Scorecard has a rating category, as you can see here. 0 equals emerging, 1 equals accomplished, and 2 equals exemplary. The categories that are evaluated on this scorecard are course design, accessibility, ADA compliance, and universal design, course learning outcomes, course content, assignments, instructor role, class discussion and engagement, building community, communication, and continuous course improvement. So here comes straight from the OLC website. The link that is provided there will also be provided in notes. Using the OLC QCTIP scorecard is an effective way of analyzing course content and design, whether applied during initial design and development or during any course redesign. Having had the opportunity to take a previous session of the course that I evaluated, LDT100X on edX, I was able to see what changes were made between the session I attended from May to July of 2017 to the session I evaluated from August to October 2017. I would agree that my thoughts on the use of QA rubrics, standards, and scorecard checklists have been validated and are still on target with my own assessment of the value of standards-based instructional design. So here it breaks down on the screen. You can see it's a comprehensive standards-based scorecard, in-depth course review in order to validate instructional practices. It's designed to evaluate the overall classroom experience and evaluate teaching effectiveness in those areas that I had mentioned on the previous slide, and it can be used as a comprehensive overview of the course environment. So I'm going to get into the data that I collected during my evaluation, and as you can see here, the green is emerging, 0 score, 1 accomplished, and 2 exemplary. On this slide, we have course design, accessibility, ADA compliance, and universal design, course learning outcomes, and course content. So with regards to course design, the only area in this section that received a rating from me less than exemplary was item number 3. Course design is cohesive and aligns the course objectives, assessments, and activities. The design of the course, while much improved in many ways from the previous session, the one that I had taken, still needs work to create a more cohesive learning environment. The first week is slow to start, and the learner expectations are hard to flesh out. In order to tie weekly learning objectives into the weekly activities, the learner has to visit the syllabus to gain a certain level of understanding, the weekly introduction page for some more understanding, and then search out the final portfolio outline and rubric by visiting the Handouts tab and looking for the rubric file and the overview file for the project. So as the course builds towards this final project deliverable, it seems a bit difficult to find this critical information. So, and that's 60% of the overall grade, the final project. This is also the only rubric graded assignment in the course, and I will discuss that more thoroughly, particularly with regards to discussion forums in a couple slides. So on the next slide here, you have assignments, instructor role, class discussion and engagement, building community, again with those same scoring. And as you can see, most of these were scored as exemplary. For assignments, item number 3, though, in particular, says assignments include grading rubrics with clear expectations. The course is missing rubrics for discussion forum assignments. And since discussion forum postings are the only assignment submissions each week, this should probably have a rubric in order to establish expectations. The course is graded based on self-reporting of participation and working towards meeting that final portfolio benchmarks. There are clear instructions for discussion posts that are on the course. Post word count expectations, initial post due by the midweek, and minimum replies required to other student posts by the end of the week. The major project assignment for LDT100X is the final portfolio, which is due in week 7. And so there is a developed rubric, thorough rubric for the final portfolio that assesses students' work as exemplary, meets expectations, or needs improvement. The categories on that rubric are the welcome page, comparing learning theories, personal learning experiences, and this is all, again, just to reiterate, to develop a instructional design portfolio. So where I left off, behaviorism, constructivism, cognitivism or connectivism, and andragogy, authentic assessment, and overall presentation and communication of ideas, such as copyright, grammar, and mechanics. So as I stated with the note on UDL, which is you'll find on my QCTIP scorecard, the course doesn't have many ways of expressing mastery of course content. And in that area, item number 4 states, instructor provides a variety of assignment types to enable different learners opportunities to demonstrate skills. So moving on to instructor role, what I found there isn't a personalized instructor biography that I could find for the course. Item number 1 in this area states an instructor provides a personalized bio and statement that welcomes students to the course in text or video format. So I found that wasn't exemplary. Then moving on, I combined class discussion and engagement and building community. So my comments on that are, the course makes effective use of discussion forums to establish both student engagement and a learning community. Students use the discussion forums to interact with one another and with the course instructor facilitator. As mentioned in course content, as there isn't a grading rubric for discussions, and weekly discussions are graded based on self-reporting of progress, there isn't really an effective means of establishing and accounting for student expectations with regards to discussion posts and replies. And I reference that to item number 7. Students are expected to post discussion responses as well as interact with classmates and the instructor. So on the final slide here of my evaluation from the QCTIP scorecard, for communication, I couldn't find any reference to feedback timeline in the course syllabus or welcome content as I searched through the content of this session. So, and that relates to item number 6, instructor specifies times when students can expect instructor feedback. So I found that to not be present, or so only emerging. And then for the last area here, continuous course improvement, based on my observations from the first session that I attended personally from May to July of 2017 to this evaluated session from August to October 2017, the course does show signs of redesign and continuous improvement, and I believe that's using quality assurance standards. So to sum up and also to tie into my case study, the LDT100X that I evaluated showed marked signs of improvement and standards-based redesign between the May to July 2017 session and the evaluated August to October 2017 session. My biggest takeaway here is that the course has come a long way in development from the session I attended in the summer of 2017 and the session that ran from August to October 2017. The format of the course was easier to follow, the outcomes were stated more clearly each week, and more ADA compliant elements were designed into the course content. So I'm not sure if it occurred, but it appears that there may have been an effort to redesign the course using either an OLC scorecard like this or a QM rubric and standards. So in conclusion, here are the overall impressions that I have of the course. The course effectively meets course objectives, but could use some additional redesign efforts, as are noted on the attached QCTIP scorecard for this project submission. 3 areas of the course that were effective that I found. The course is project-based and builds weekly towards completing a final project, which is a instructional design portfolio. The course effectively builds an online learning community, and the course is minimalistic but is still thorough. 3 areas of the course that I found need improvement, though, and I didn't talk about this in this presentation, but I did speak more in depth with this on the QCTIP scorecard and in my case study. So video closed captioning for this session of the course and proper transcription is not exemplary, but is emerging / accomplished. It's leaning towards accomplished. Some necessary elements are also missing. As I mentioned, the instructor bio, some technical support information, and what I've really hit on is the discussion post or reply rubrics. More universal design for learning elements I think are needed to establish multiple means of representation, expression, engagement. Those are the 3 principles of UDL. So in the course content and assessment. So that's it for this executive presentation for UMUC's edX LDT100X Learning Theories course. And I thank you for your time.